Hi friends, my name is Matt. I'm the youth and family pastor of Cornerstone Church in Marshfield. I'm here today with your Cornerstone Connection, a daily devotional. I want to begin today by reading for you Proverbs 10, verse 15. And it says this: A rich man's wealth is his strong city. The poverty of the poor is their ruin. Let me read that one more time. A rich man's wealth is his strong city. The poverty of the poor is their ruin. Now, again, these proverbs are principles for life and oftentimes true, but they're not promises. And so here's what I want to say with this, because it's going to connect to the main text that I'm going to be talking about today. No doubt, wealth can bring security. It can be a strong city. It's provisional, right? And so wealth can be a good thing. Money's a good thing. God has given it to us, and it can bring security. But here's the problem. If that is our only source of security, if that is our main source of security and the thing that we depend on the most, certainly if it's what we depend on above God, then we're going to find ourselves in trouble. And there's a great illustration for this, and it's not just for people, individuals who find their refuge in wealth, but it's also for communities, for cities. And as we move into the book of Ezekiel today, and we go to Ezekiel chapter 27, we see this come to fruition with the city of Tyre, that in the chapters previous would be part of taking down Jerusalem. But the Lord's going to let them know that, hey, you have found your refuge, your strength, your security in wealth, but that is not going to last. You are going to fall. You are going to be destroyed. Because that has been everything to you. You have found great pride and security in that, but that is not the greatest source of hope. So here we go, Ezekiel 27. Let's hear what the Lord has to say, starting in verse 1. The word of the Lord came to me, Ezekiel speaking. Now you, son of man, raise a lamentation over Tyre, and say to Tyre, who dwells at the entrances to the sea, merchant of the peoples to many coastlands, thus says the Lord God. Here we go. O Tyre, you have said, I am perfect in beauty. Your borders are in the heart of the seas. Your builders made perfect your beauty. They made all your planks of fir trees from Senir. They took a cedar from Lebanon to make a mast for you. Of oaks of Bashan they made your oars. They made your deck of pines from the coasts of Cyprus, inlaid with ivory. Of fine embroidered linen from Egypt was your sail, serving as your banner. Blue and purple from the coast of Elisha was your awning. The inhabitants of Sidon and Arvad were your rowers. Your skilled men, O Tyre, were in you. They were your pilots. The elders of Gebel and her skilled men were in you, caulking your seams. All the ships of the sea with their mariners were in you to barter for your wares. And Ezekiel goes on and on as the Lord speaks through him about Tyre and just how much wealth they had and how much provision they had and how much security they found in that and how their pride grew because of this. But then we get to verse 26, and God continues to speak through Ezekiel. He says, your rowers have brought you out into the high seas. The east wind has wrecked you in the heart of the seas. Your riches, your wares, your merchandise, your mariners and your pilots, your caulkers, your dealers in merchandise, all those ones we just read about in the first 10 verses, and all your men of war who are in you with all your crew that is in your midst, sink into the heart of the seas on the day of your fall. At the sound of the cry of your pilots, the countryside shakes, and down from their ships come all who handle the oar. The mariners and all the pilots of the sea stand on the land and shout aloud over you and cry out bitterly. They cast dust in their heads and wallow in ashes. They make themselves bald for you and put sackcloth on their waist, and they weep over you in bitterness of soul with bitter mourning. In their wailing they raise a lamentation for you and lament over you. Who is like Tyre, like one destroyed in the midst of the sea? And that's where I'll pause. Friends, there's another proverb that talks about how pride comes before the fall. Pride comes before the destruction. And so we look at a city, a community like Tyre, who their downfall wasn't so much that they had wealth. It was the pride they had in their wealth. It was the fact that they found all their security and all their identity in their wealth and in their success. And they never turned to God to be their strong city. Instead, it was what they had, is what they had gained, is what they could do in the world. It was their pride that led to their destruction. And friends, this example that we find in a city, this example that we find in a community, no doubt can be personalized as well. Let us be careful that we don't find ourselves like Tyre. We don't find ourselves finding our security, our identity, our strength in the things that we have or what we can do, but instead in the only one who is the source of that security, who is the source of our identity, who is the source of our strength. Because it's in him that we can remain humble and not become proud and then fall and be destroyed. Friends, find your hope, find your identity, find your security, find your strength in the God who made you. Have a great day, friends. We'll see you next time on the Cornerstone Connection.